You know what's funny? For years the Phantom Menace has been the punchline of Star Wars. Jar Jar jokes, midichlorian memes, CGI criticism. But here's the thing, behind all of that, there's a movie that quietly shaped everything Star Wars became after it. Because the Phantom Menace didn't just return Star Wars to the big screen, it redefined what the galaxy far, far away could look like, politically, spiritually, and cinematically. So today, we're looking at why the Phantom Menace is better than you remember, and maybe why it was never really understood in the first place. Before the Phantom Menace, we've never actually seen the Jedi in their prime. Sure, Luke Skywalker became one, but this was different. The prequels opened with the Jedi as a functioning order, calm, disciplined, respected, like space-age samurai monks operating at the heart of the Republic. From the moment Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan ignite their sabers on the Trade Federation ship, you realise these aren't rebels or survivors, they are peacekeepers, confident, in control. This is the first time we truly see the Jedi as the galaxy once knew them. It's easy to take that for granted now, but back in 1999, this was a revelation. And then of course, there's Jedi like Mace Windu, introduced as one of the most powerful and composed Jedi Masters, played with authority by Samuel L. Jackson. He embodies that sense of institutional power, but also the arrogance that would later define the Council's downfall. It's all there, quietly layered beneath the surface of the Phantom Menace. But if the Jedi Order represents control and tradition, Qui-Gon Jinn represents the opposite. He's what Star Wars had never shown us before. A Jedi who doesn't always obey. Qui-Gon listens to the Force in a living way, in an instinctive way. He believes in destiny, in compassion, in trusting the will of the Force, even when it defies the Council's beliefs. He's the first Jedi we've seen question what it truly means to be one. His defiance isn't always arrogance, it's wisdom. He recognizes Anakin's potential, the living embodiment of the Force's mystery. And that's something the Council, blinded, could never see. Qui-Gon's death isn't just tragic, it's the spark that ignites Obi-Wan Kenobi's transformation. His final wish, to train Anakin, becomes Obi-Wan's lifelong mission. And it's that emotional story that fuels the entire prequel trilogy. Through Anakin, the Phantom Menace explores one of the oldest questions in Star Wars. What does it really mean to bring balance to the Force? The Jedi believe it means eliminating the dark side. But that's not balance, that's dominance on their side. Their interpretation is narrow, even hypocritical. So when Anakin is conceived by the Force itself, not born of a man or woman, it feels like a divine correction, a reset, a being created to fix the imbalance that the Jedi themselves have created. But in their desperation to control him, they become the architects of their own fall. It's tragic and poetic, a story that's far deeper than most remember when they think of pod races and Jar Jar. Say what you will about the Phantom Menace, but it expanded the galaxy in ways very few films ever have. We travel from the plains of Naboo, to the dusty slave quarters of Tatooine, to the shimmering skylines of Coruscant, the political heart of the Republic. And every planet feels distinct, yet connected together. The film doesn't just show new locations either. It shows new systems like trade routes, blockades, and the Galactic Senate. It paints the machinery of power that eventually would crumble into the Empire. And through that, the Phantom Menace grounds its fantasy in realism. It's not just about the Chosen One and laser swords, it's about politics, economics, and control. Then there's the pod race, one of the most unique sequences in all of the entire saga. It's pure cinema, with sound design, tension, speed all coming together to give Star Wars something new. In one sequence, Lucas reminds us of what made this universe so exciting in the first place, the thrill of adventure. But on the other side, it's easy also to miss how dark this movie was. The Jedi, supposedly defenders of peace, walking through a world where children are enslaved and almost can't do anything about it. That moral blindness says more about the Order than any battle ever could. And then the Senate, filled with corruption and manipulation. The rise of Palpatine begins not with an army, but with a vote of no confidence. Lucas, long before the word prequel became a meme, was weaving a political thriller into a space opera. For a film aimed at kids, it had the courage to show adults failing, morally and politically, in a galaxy that looks disturbingly familiar. And then there's Darth Maul, a character who barely speaks, but says everything through his movement, his stare, and his ferocity. With Nick Gillard's choreography, lightsaber combat became something new, almost like a dance, a philosophy, or an art form. No longer the slow duels of the original trilogy, but a fast, elegant, deadly attack. And of course, we have John Williams' Duel of the Fates, one of the greatest pieces of film music ever written. The fate of Anakin, the Jedi, and the entire saga is decided in that duel. Maul versus Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. It isn't just about skill, it's about the master who believes, the student who learns, and the darkness that divides them. Looking back, the Phantom Menace feels less like a misstep, and more like a misunderstood masterpiece. It was ambitious, political, and philosophical in ways few blockbusters dared to be, and dare to be today. It gave us new worlds, new heroes, new ideas, wrapped inside a story about faith, destiny, and failure. And when you strip away the memes and nostalgia, what's left is something deeply Star Wars at its core. Hope, tragedy, and the endless struggle to understand the Force. Maybe the Phantom Menace wasn't made for the audience of 1999, but it was made for the fans who'd one day grow up, look back, and finally see what George Lucas was really trying to say, because sometimes the Force reveals its meaning only in time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, then check out our recent video where I ranked the 7 upcoming Star Wars projects, and hit subscribe so you never miss another Star Wars discussion.